Soul family, or almost noon, I've got a desperate feline right here, desperately wanting my attention, right? To the point, and I know he's going crazy. He's got like itchies on his skin, and it feels good when I scratch where he can't scratch, right? I can reach something that he can't reach. So, and watch what happens when I stop. Yeah? Because it's driving him crazy. Song right now, I don't want to fight tonight. I'm going to let you be right. We can make up. If you would just meet me at the next traffic light, I don't want to fight tonight. I'll let you be right. And it says, you know, we need to stop this. This is ridiculous. We both want the same thing, right? And it makes me think about what's going on right now with the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I know not everybody's on a twin soul journey, but a lot of people that follow me follow these readings are. And right now, the divine masculine's going crazy, right? We've been the ones that were there, and putting up with their bullshit. But right now, they're going nuts because we're under their skin. And we've learned to stand strong. We've learned to not be their doormat, right? I'm not going to be always here while you go out chasing after everyone else and ignore me, right? But it's not a normal thing. It isn't. It is something that we've all had to learn about self-love, and I go back and forth, you know, with my feelings. I spoke about this earlier today. I'm going to let you guys choose, and then I'm going to continue to talk because I have to speak about this. We're going to choose from items, okay? Ylang Ylang. My mom liked Ylang Ylang. It's a little too sweet for me. Eucalyptus. Very healing, especially right now for the divine masculine. It's good for us as well. Romance. Ooh, that's good for us both. Geranium. Now, it's interesting. Geranium keeps away mosquitoes, so vampires. So I would say for myself, I'm going to pick these two. And actually, that's kind of sad, isn't it? Because that should be us and them. So I think I'm going to do it that way today. And I hate to do it that way, but it's almost as though it needs to be this now. It needs to be us and them now. Them is the emotional vampires, the energy vampires, the jobs, the situations, the friends that are blocking or trying to keep us apart, who are stirring up all of our issues. Also the ones that are that have done things to us that we're pissed off about. And we're not. The feminine have kind of gone past that, but the men have got this energy about wanting revenge about the past. And we may have as well. And then this could be the family, right? Families and friends that have kind of stood between. So that's them. This is us. We're going to stand together. Okay, so there's that. Now, you know how it is. I mean, right now I've got itching in my left hand, so I know that I'm right with what I'm saying. And he's going to stop. But you can see his back itching, right? How it jerks. It's itching. It's driving him crazy. And if I know, because I've been bit. You know, I've had poison ivy, and you can see he's got little sores. It's almost like what it starts out with cats. It's called overactive sebaceous glands, which is too much oil, and they can't get to it, right, on the middle of their back. They can't reach it. So it gets to the place where it starts to glob together, and then it turns into kind of like a crusty. They can get to their tails, and they'll bite at their tails. He doesn't have any fleas. He's fed very, I know, honey, I know it's annoying. It's driving him nuts, see? And that's kind of what's going on with the divine masculine. Our energies have been up and down and all over the place, and you guys have watched me. You've watched me go through the crying jags and the anger. And the men have been going through jealousy and insecurity and feeling really, it's been really hard on, because the feminine, we are, generally the feminine is the chaser and the masculine is the runner. That's generally how it goes. But I put up an article a while back saying, is it possible for the divine feminine to actually be the male and the divine masculine be the female? Because I felt like that's what was happening. I felt like in my own life, not because... my twin, he's a very easygoing, gentle, loving nature, but he's got a real hothead too, and he's got a big mouth, and he can say nasty things, you know, just like me. He's my mirror, and so I look at him and I think to myself. Sometimes I talk about him with you guys, and I say, oh, you know, I see this in my, you know, the emperor. I see my twin as the emperor, you know, which is the great, you know, everything's wonderful about him, and I do. I always see his highest light that way. But there's also the other side, and I've seen both sides of him in front of me. One in the same day, I watched him switch from being in his highest light into his ego. And we do that a lot, all of us, depending on circumstances. But it was incredible to watch how, first of all, I'm walking next to the Panther, and he was the Emperor. Wow, the power was immense. And I felt very, under him. I was like in awe, which was not a healthy place to be, clearly. And the next time I saw him, I was in my highest power, and he was more open. And the thing that sucked about that was him being open was awesome, right? And I wasn't being a bitch. I just was not putting up with it. But he did something. He switched back into his divine masculine, and he said something to me that I felt was inappropriate. It totally was for the moment. And I was in my highest light. See, but I wasn't actually in my highest light. I was in more of a dominant role at that time. And he even said that, wow, you're seducing me. Like, it was like we flipped roles, which was fun for a bit. And then he thought, okay, now I'm going to flip, right? But he did it in an aggressive, mean way. And I didn't like, and you know what? To him, it wasn't mean. And to any other guy, it might not have come across as mean. It was distasteful for me. It was learning lessons, right? But the fact that that happened flipped me, since I was more in my masculine energy at that time. My ego came out. It hurt me, and I reacted, and I pushed him away hard, which hurt him. And so we've gone through this dance, and everyone has been going through this. And I've posted stuff on my wall today for anyone else. And if anyone else that doesn't want to listen to this, feel free to fast forward. I've got it timestamped. You know that. But this is important right now because this is my life. And there's a lot of other people out now, in the twin souls coming together and struggling through this. And this is information that we need to hear. Today, Spirit guided me to this fellow on YouTube. And I don't even know how. I saw it yesterday and I didn't look at it because I don't like to look at twin soul things. I don't want to look at anybody else's experience. I don't want to talk about it. It's stressful. It's already stressful enough living it, But I thought it was a man that was speaking. It wasn't a woman. I don't want to hear about what all these other women have to say about their twin soul journey, because most of them I hear are these long-suffering people who've been waiting around for 30 years while their twin is living somewhere else with the life of their family. That I'm done with, right? My twin told me he married someone after 4 years of being celibate and holding on for him. And I was like, wow, how could you do that? How could you do that when I couldn't even breathe without you? I could barely breathe. I could barely get through each day. My work is what held me together. And you married someone else? Like in between, after you knew I was your twin? And I know that stuff came between, and there's lies and deception, but still, that was something for me to look at and think, wow, I need to re-examine this, right? So what happened was Spirit led me to a man on YouTube. And I thought, this is intriguing for me because now I'm looking at it from the male perspective. And right now, and that's what was going on. They would rather go off and be with somebody else who wasn't going to push their triggers and try and drown it out and not face it and not look at it. I don't want to look at it. It's upsetting. I don't want someone that makes me feel all of this emotion that I don't want to feel. It's upsetting. It's hurtful. And when the twins come together, bounce back and forth, we bring up each other's past demons that have to be healed, the dark night of the soul, and it's excruciating. And so a lot of people want to shut down. They don't want to deal with it. A lot of people start drinking. A lot of people start doing drugs. A lot of people start sexing all over the place with other people. And it's like, wow, there's the challenge between finding self-love and living in a place of unconditional love and holding space and ego and all this bullshit. Right? So you've watched me. You guys have watched me like a roller coaster. And I've been going back and forth between this aggressiveness and this overwhelming compassion and love. And yet at the heart of it all, there is no love in my heart for anyone but my twin. Even though I want to have love for someone else. I want someone else to come in. I have tried to break this contract. I have tried to cut cords. I have tried to detach in every way possible to make it go away. Just like he did. But we can't. There is no breaking this. I dream with him every single night. He sings to me in songs. I sing to him in songs. I get messages, and whether other people understand it or not, it doesn't matter. It's a fact. And so what's going on right now is the stronger the female becomes, the divine feminine, in our role of not putting up with this bullshit, and I'm not going to placate and pander to you, you know, your meltdowns and you having a hissy fit when you've gone off and married someone else. Are you kidding me? No. This is about me focusing on my spiritual path, doing my work, and moving forward. And if you catch up to me on this journey, that would be good. But see, there's my ego stepping in right now. Now my left side's starting to prickle. It's like, hey, right? It's a hard road to hoe, I gotta tell you. But this is the guy. I know. This is his, let me pull up his name. I think his name is David. Is it? Oh, Michael. Michael Timby.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back from me after
Okay.
what has been quite a long...
It's pretty cool to watch him because to listen to it from his perspective about what the men have been going through when we, after knowing what I've gone through and what I've watched my twin with other people. I dreamed through his eyes. I've watched him do things. You want to talk about painful? I've watched him say she's just a friend from my past and nothing more. I've watched him walk away from me, right? And so I listened to this man talking and I'm like, yeah, and he's saying, you know, it's been really tough, you know, to feel these emotions that I don't want to feel and to feel emasculated. I don't want to be emasculated. That's humiliating. I'm a man. And I told you, my twin is very powerful, but I've also seen him in his feminine energy, which I loved. I loved both. I'm not saying I want him to be a, you know, passive and let me walk all over him, because I don't. And I don't want him to be abusive. I've been abused, thanks. I've been disregarded and disrespected. I'm not going to accept that from my twin. So it really sucked the day that he told me I got married. I watched him get married. I saw it. But what I watched is the girl took off. I watched the marriage not continue on a normal basis. Maybe that was energetic. I don't know. But still, when it came out of his mouth, all I could say was, wow, really? Like, wow. It's been 4 years, and here you are, and I know who you are, and you know who I am. And you say that to me? And I went to walk away. I just said, you should have said something. And his, you know, why? Life happens sometimes. And I felt like slapping the fuck out of his face. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to speak to me like that? Life happens? So I just walked away. And he touched my arm and he said, it's good to see you. And when he did that, he was himself. So it was confusing to me. There's something going on different than I understand, right? And I went to leave and I just walked away. I thought I just don't know what to do right now. And Spirit held my tongue and I walked away, and he called something out to me, and what he said to me was a clue. And it meant something to me, and I caught it. But it was rough. And so listening to all of this, you know, and how I heard in my dream or in my meditation, just because you're in a twin soul relationship doesn't mean you don't have to respect somebody's soul contract. And that's a fact. You respect somebody's soul contract. You don't have an affair with your twin when he's married with someone else. That's unconscionable to me. And I didn't believe that he was married. I didn't know that. I didn't believe it. And even when he told me, I felt like, you're lying to me. Something's not right here. Because I know he loves me. But self-love and self-respect means you're in a relationship with someone else. I don't reach out to you. And that was probably respectful on his part that he didn't reach out to me. However, the thing that he called out to me was giving me a message. Now, listening to this man talk, this divine masculine, I'm going to put you guys down while I shuffle. He's talking about how difficult it is. And, you know, lies will be told. I'll tell a lie. I'll tell you I was with somebody else just because I need to get myself together, and I don't want you to see me in this state, you know, which is kind of what I believed happened, but I don't know for certain. So all I know is that no matter what lies of deception have been told or what he felt he needed to go through, I haven't been with anyone or let anyone touch me. My mind won't even go there. I've tried to go there. Oh, believe me, I have. I have so wanted to. And people don't understand, and I push them away, and I get the perfect soulmate, right? Perfect soulmate. And Spirit said to me, you're going to have a soulmate show up. And you're going to have everything in common, and you're going to get along fantastic, but you're not going to feel that energy. And then you've got the one that you feel that energy, and everything is a disaster. And that's the truth. And it sucks. But I woke up this morning, you know, and I was in a place where, because somebody wrote to me, and I posted it on my wall, you guys can read it. I didn't know how much more I could take. I said, I can't do this anymore. My body's breaking down. I need to be held, but I need to be loved and held, but not just by anyone. It has to be my twin. And how can that happen? The Father needs to allow this to happen because I can't do this anymore. And maybe that's what they've been waiting for. You know, we've been waiting for the males to step back into their divine masculine role fully, and for the female to go into their divine feminine, which is love. I woke up this morning after watching a man and his nephew all night long. All night long. And I was one of the people. And I was like, it didn't matter what we did or what we were doing. He always added something that made it different than mine. And it was gravy. It was so weird. Gravy. And I woke up I literally saying to myself, gravy would make it better. That's what I want. I want gravy. And remember I said when Lily stopped eating, she couldn't eat. And I went through all of these foods and spent so much money. And I would buy, open up a can of food and she would take a lick and then she wouldn't eat anymore. And it would cost me a fortune. I had to throw away food and And then I found this food that I spoke to you guys about yesterday. And it's interesting because I thought, I hope I'm not just giving her junk food, right? This is the food I got her. And what's really interesting is I had a black cat named Tiki. And he disappeared right when my twin disappeared out of my life. He saw my cat and he said, whose cat is that? And I said, mine. And they disappeared at the same time. Well, the food that Lily will eat, the only food that Lily will eat, is called Tiki Cat. And it's a black cat with green eyes. And I was told there's a black cat waiting for you in the mountains, in the cabin. Black cat with green eyes. And I didn't understand. I said, my black cat has blue eyes. Tiki had green eyes. There's jealousy that they're dealing with, the divine masculine. And I felt that jealousy, which I didn't understand because I don't deal with jealousy. See, and he just spoke and said yes. Yeah. I don't deal with jealousy. My way of dealing with jealousy is if you want to be with someone else, then go grab her. I'm out. See ya. I don't compete. I don't. I won't. I don't have to. If you choose to be with someone else, you don't deserve me. I'm on to something else, right? But they've been dealing with jealousy, imagining things that aren't even real. And that's what has been brought up by Spirit. And this guy brought it up too, which I found really interesting. He said that there's thinking, and the song that started this whole reading today was the same song. Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I dated last year, and it's basically he's going round and around, he's losing his mind, and he was about to marry her, and he's like, somebody says, oh, too bad the groom's bride is a whore, and he hears this, and he loses his mind because thinking his bride has been with someone else. But when you go outside, the man that he watched his bride walk away with, when we look at it, once he walks outside the door, he turns around and it's him. It's only ever been him the whole time. But they've imagined, because see, we cross over in our dreams. I watch my twin with someone else and he watches me with someone else. And I heard him say, today what I wrote was somebody wrote me and said that when they listen to my readings, they feel like my readings are for them, and they cry with me and they cry more. And she says, I like to listen to your voice. And I've heard that so many times. People say, I put your readings on at night. It helps me sleep. I like to listen to your voice. And I heard in my head, I love to listen to her voice. And I got so upset because this person was a singer that this guy was watching. This guy was my twin. And I thought, God, he's in love with this girl's voice. And I was so upset. And I thought this morning, I wonder if it was me that he's listening to, the voice that he's listening to. I wonder if this person I see him with is me. But he told me he married someone. So he will accomplish what might seem impossible to yourself and others, says the hummingbird. Because this does feel impossible, but it will come together. So what I wanted to show you was Tiki Cat. This is the food that I get. It's rich, silky, and smooth. It's incredibly healthy. There's all these different flavors. It's one of the highest, actually, I researched it. It's very expensive. I like expensive things. But it's the highest quality. Not fattening. Not filled with this is the closest to their natural food that they can have. And Lily loves it. But Liger, he's so heavy, I didn't want to give it to him. So I told you guys, I finally decided that this is about self-love. right? Lily was getting everything. Lily represented my twin. And this one represented me. And they go back and forth. They go back and forth, just like my twin and I. Sometimes I'm the divine masculine. Sometimes I'm the divine feminine. Sometimes in my dreams I'm me. Sometimes I'm him. So how the fuck am I supposed to figure out who's talking to who? Right? But he's been going through that as well. So the only way that I can communicate with him is through these readings. And I know he watches them all. Hey, Jake, how's it going? You know? And this is how I do it. And what I realized was, okay, it's not fair that I give everything to him. I give all of my love, all of my energy, all of my time, all of my thinking, all of my mind. My health is falling apart. You guys have seen me. I've got the biggest bags under my eyes. I don't know if I'll ever recover. I'm going to need a facelift, and that makes me mad. You know? But I've done it, and I've heard him in my head one time. He said, I didn't do that to you. You did it to yourself. No, we did it to each other. We did it to each other. We're doing it to each other. And just like the song says, why don't you meet me in the middle? I'll pull over at the next stoplight and we can stop this fighting because it's stupid. We both love each other. We want to be together. We know that. And it's all ego. And there's a competition and it's ridiculous. Who breaks down first? Who says something to the other? I can't reach out to my twin anymore. I don't have his phone number. I'm not going to write to the email. It's been compromised. And I've said enough. He needs to respond. And I will not go after him. And that isn't about ego. It's about self-love. So what I decided with my cats was, Lily loves this food, and poor Liger, he's eating crunchies, you know, and he has very high-quality crunchies as well. But he's like, you know, why does she get the best? Everything she wants, or everything she has, he wants. Of course. And everything he wants, she should want, because they're two of the same, just like us. So this is the rebirth. This is the phoenix rising, and this is the resurrection of my Tiki coming in the form of my twin. And these green eyes are going to turn from jealousy to love. But the gravy in my dreams, what was so interesting, that's what this food is like. It's like, it's mousse. It's rich. It's creamy. It's like gravy. Everything's better with gravy on it. I was saying in my dreams, everything I was watching my nephew take was so, you know, was so rich and wonderful, and what I was getting was so dry. And even as a vegetarian, my food, you know, everything was better. It didn't have any flavor anymore after I became a vegetarian. So what do? Strawberries, almonds, cherries, cucumbers. Look at the food that I get for myself. Rich in all the colors. Here's Lily and Liger's mousse. I'll show you what it looks like. Liger's gonna think he's gonna get some. See, it's like freaking pureed turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy all in one. It's amazing, and they freaking love it. And I was saying to my landlord, oh my God, I'm breaking the bank feeding these guys. So what I started to do was, I thought, okay, I'm not going to give it all to Lily because I'm not giving it all to my twin. I'm going to give it back to myself, right? So I decided what I'll do is I'll feed Liger first before Lily. And I would put down, and I gave him a fair amount, like I gave him about this much in his plate. I put it on the floor in his bowl, and then I give Lily hers outside. And then, of course, that's not going to be enough to fill him. He's a lot bigger than her. So then I give him a little bowl of crunchies. Well, now, and not a bowl, just like a little, the same amount, little handful. And I watched the other day, this is our routine, and now he's gotten into it. And we have a certain time of day that he wakes me up in the morning and at night where they eat. They've got a schedule, and they have both chosen to eat both. Lily has also started to eat the little crunchies. I've given them an equal portion, well, you know, comparative to size. Like my twin's a lot bigger than me, right? I'm not as big. I could eat as much as him. I could probably eat more than him. But that's a message too. So basically it's about loving. We had to get to the point, divine masculines have to understand, the divine feminine, that we love ourselves more than we love you. We have to. Because we can't allow you to treat us like doormats, and you would continue to do that. That's just the divine, that's the nature. But yesterday the message was there's a balancing of karma, and right now the balancing of the scales was off. Right? I said that little bird, which is this underestimated sparrow, was weighing heavily on one side, and there wasn't anything on the other side. The underestimated one was there waiting for the other side to come and balance her out. But Ganesh said that that's going to happen. There's going to be a balancing. And then the last very emotional two cards were, and then the lion will lay down with the lamb. But see, the lion was represented by me. the divine feminine, because we have risen into our divine masculine energy. We were strong. And what we need to do is balance back down so that we can step back into the divine feminine, which is where I prefer to be. I don't want to be bossing anyone around. I don't want to be over my twin. I don't like that energy. I loved the fact that he was the only man that could put me in my place, but he did it in a kind way. He didn't do it by being rude. He didn't do it by yelling at me. He did it in a kind way. I've been put in my place before. I've been thrown against walls and thrown across the room. I've been hit by my father, beaten. Now, if you're treated that way, you're going to retaliate. You're going to push back. I don't want to fight my twin. I love him. And so even when he said what he said to me, he had to tell me the truth, what he did. He reached out and touched my arm and said, "It's good to see you." And that was my twin, and that ripped my heart out. And I don't know. I feel that whatever's happening is wrapping up between whatever his issues were, whatever that situation is, because I do know that the soul contract, if he did make one with someone else, it will end, because we need to be together, and that's how it works. And forgiveness needs to happen to let the past go. And right now, that's what's going on, is that the jealousy turns to love. The lies turn to truth. And forgiveness comes upon the situation, and everything is gravy. You know what? I say that a lot. Oh, it's gravy. Gravy's good. It tastes better. Things go down when there's moisture and when there's flavor. Things are easier to swallow when it tastes good. Not when it's angry, not when it's bitter, not when there's shame, not when there's blame. We have to let go of the past and make room for the future. That's more important. Our lessons that we've learned are immense. We've all had to go through situations. Unfortunately, I don't understand why the twin soul male is able to live in a relationship with another. Well, I can't. And maybe some female have done that as well. I don't understand how my twin could do that. I don't believe that he can. So it makes me wonder if he lied to me. And it doesn't really make me wonder. I kind of believe he did. Because my mom said to me in the past, when I had that mirror, when someone I love lied to me, because he had to get away. He had to think, right? He came back and he told me it was a lie. My mom said, "Which lie are you going to believe? The first lie or the second lie? Because he's a liar." But Spirit said, "You're going to get a chance to redo things," because at that time I didn't allow him back into my life. Not that person. He wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to go on and learn other lessons. Sometimes people lie because they're trying to protect themselves. Sometimes they lie to protect you. And all I know is Spirit told me he's innocent. So this message goes out to the one I love. And that was the song that played that day that I saw you there at the Beer and Wine Garden. When I went up and danced, and it was so funny because the floor was packed before that. But for that song, when I walked away from you, no one went on the dance floor. Just me. And that song played. And I sung it in my heart. This one goes out to the one I love. I didn't understand the lyrics until later. It was the man talking. This one goes out to the one I love. This one I hold is just a prop to occupy my mind and occupy my time. But this song goes out to the one I love. And I thought, wow, that was hard to swallow. So for all of us, it's about forgiveness. For all of us, divine feminine. And maybe some males have had that happen with the female. Maybe they've gone out. I just know I've never been cheated on before in my life. And it doesn't matter that we were not in a full-blown, outward, everybody knowing relationship. We knew who we were to each other. And I told him I wouldn't be with anyone. I wouldn't be with him if he was with anyone else. And so in my mind, I was loyal to my partner. So the disloyalty was what was hard for me to swallow. Disloyalty, is that a word? Anyway, Liger and Lily are both getting the same. They both deserve the same. The Phoenix will be rising. Scales will be jet balanced. And I'm sure a lot of you can take this into account, even if you're not in a twin soul relationship. A lot of people don't understand because they wouldn't deal with what I've dealt with. I've gone 4 years. And I went 4 years before that with a false twin. Both people I remained loyal to. Isn't that interesting? That's just who I am. Loyalty is huge. I'm getting ringing in my ears, both of them right now. So maybe some of the lessons, I know some of the lessons have been for the divine masculine as well as the feminine, to find out who actually is a true friend, who is there for you when the chips are down, when you're on your back flat. You know, I kept getting the song Maps. Where were you when I was down on my knees? You said you'd always be there, and I was. And I tried to reach out to him, but his family, his work, they intercepted all of the messages. And I don't know. I was there. I've always been there. So that's the forgiveness that we have to give of others, because that's in the last message before I will start our reading. I saw this 3.5 years ago where I stopped my twin from literally killing his brother. I don't know if it was his physical brother, but that's how they showed it to me. I pulled him back and I said, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't go down to that level. Don't be karma. You will then become him. I kept getting bad romance. You know, all you're interested in is revenge. I want you. I don't want revenge. We need to let go of the anger and the blame. It happened for a reason. No matter that it was your family that did it. It happened so that you could learn and you could see the truth of who people were. And for me to learn to be strong. And for you to see that even with all that going on, someone would remain loyal and faithful to you when you probably never believed anyone would. So it's interesting because yesterday I saw a video and I posted it, and it was a cat, and it was stalking another cat. It was about to pounce on another cat, and the golden retriever came, and I said the golden retriever, Max, that was my dog, right? Makes me think of that was me at that moment, because that was me in that dream. Came and grabbed him by his neck and pulled him back and said, don't, it's not worth it. Now, the golden retriever could have been his uncle that I watched, the one who cares for him, telling him, you know what, don't do it. It's not worth it. Let it go. Whatever it is, the message is, let it go. It's not worth it. Keep your vibration high and let the past and the sadness and the blame and the bitterness and the angerness and all of that shit go. It all happened the way it was supposed to happen. Even as horrible as it was for all of us. And we're wasting time. Precious time. So let go of the past, forgive everyone and ourselves, and reach forward to the future for what we deserve, which is happiness and peace and love. We don't get another go-round. This is our last go-round, babe, on this planet. We don't get to come back. So I don't want to fight anymore. I'll let you be right. I don't need to be right. So at 33 minutes, we go to our first message. I don't know who you guys have chosen. I've split them up, right? This is us, this is them. So this would be geranium. So geranium is an earthy flower. So that will be earth. This will be water. How interesting. I thought that would be me. That's interesting. This, I guess, is fire. So this is air, okay? So earth, air, water, fire. Let me write that down because you know I'll forget. Earth, air, water, fire. Now, do know this. We all have all of these qualities within us. All of us. Right? And, however, whoever these represent in the, because I'm an Aries and a Pisces moon. So I am fire and water. I have been, when you see me in my loving energy, I'm mostly in my Pisces energy because that's the moon. That's the goddess energy. And that's what I mostly operate from that. I come out with my fire when I have to get a point across, right? And then the Gemini is my rising, which is me logically thinking this through. But think about what a Gemini is. Two-faced. Water and fire. So and then I've got 3 earth signs, and earth is in my Venus, my romance section. So we're all a jumbled mess, right? I know my twin's a Pisces, but I don't know what the other sign is. He could be a Leo. Maybe that's why I keep seeing the Leo around me. I see him as an earth sign because he's a hard worker. So whatever you guys are, or whatever it means to you, that's how we choose them. So geranium. Geranium is a really good essence to put in your water, your diffusers as well. I've got all my crystals here piled up around us. We're going to use the Blessed Bee cards and the Animal Tarot because I'm in love with this deck. I really am. It's a freaking awesome deck. And when I cry, that's showing my feminine energy. It's rising more and more. That's why I've been crying more and more. I thought about that. Why is the Father wanting me to cry so much? Because I'm losing a lot of my divine masculine and going back more into my role of divine feminine. Doesn't mean I'm not a leader. It doesn't mean I'm not strong. It just means I'm not going to be bossing my twin around, right? I don't want to. Oh my God. Oh. And here we are. And the lion will lie down with the lamb. Now I see this differently than I saw it yesterday. We saw the reading. You heard what I said. This was me. This is the Aries flower. This is innocence. This is a hippie. And you see this courageous, ferocious lion with these great paws and claws, teeth that could rip that lamb apart in seconds, content and happy to snuggle up next to her lamb with flowers in her hair. However, it's actually flipping roles today as I look at it, because now I see the divine masculine, happy to be peaceful and loving in his gentle energy, wearing hippie flowers in his hair. I'm also seeing a gay uncle protecting my twin. Is that the truth? Yeah? Doesn't matter. But what I see is just what we got yesterday. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion, which is what I was just speaking about. You have tremendous personal power and courage. We are exiting the Lion's Gate time period, right? But here we are. And the lion will lay down with the lamb, and then you will know peace. I heard that in my dream last night. And the lion will lay down with the lamb, and then there will be peace. That's when our ego and our spiritual side merge. Yeah. This is the ego, the desire to dominate and to fight. And I don't want to fight. But I don't want to be a doormat. This is when we blend together. The blending of both is wise. That's the union. Look at the infinity symbol. It goes on forever. It never ends. Just like the love between twin souls. No matter where they go, no matter what we do, our love never ends. Even though he had no expression in his voice when he spoke to me and told me what he did, when he touched my arm and said it was nice to see me, it was all love. He can't hide that. He couldn't go poker face. So a transformation has taken place here. I keep seeing Mount Shasta in the background. I haven't been there in 100 years. But there's no snow on Mount Shasta in this picture. You want attention, don't you? I know. So right now, Spirit's telling you, this is your strength. So for you who aren't in a twin soul relationship or aren't dealing through any of this, in the situation that you're dealing with right now, the most important thing for you to exhibit right now is forgiveness and compassion. That is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness. It's very difficult to be forgiving and compassionate when someone has hurt you. When you're hurting, it's very, very painful to put your own feelings aside for another and see things from their perspective, because clearly they've gone through something too. It's hard. That is true strength. I did a personal reading for a private reading for someone this morning, and I was speaking about this, and it came out. And it's like, I talked about blended families. You know, when I married my ex, he was actually a very passive kind of fellow, and my son is very much like me. He's an Aries, very strong, very aggressive. And right then, I say that, and Lily screamed, demanded in. Now, my son was a young adult, right? And he came down and met my twin soul, my ex, who was a nice guy. He's my friend. He was a nice guy. But he came into the house and he saw the entire house was modern, and none of my antiques were there. My antiques were stuffed up in a room. My ex was a stoner, and my son is very religious. And he looked at all of this, and he, of course, I'd been a single mother and I'd been abused, and my son was my protector, right? He saw himself like this. My son is an Aries. And he instantly didn't like my ex-husband. He was against it. He's like, I see no signs of my mother here in this house. He felt that I was being abused again, that my own true self was not allowed to come out. And that was actually the truth. I wasn't really allowed to be who I was. And so I spoke to this one because she has moved in with her boyfriend, and she has a son that's grown. Well, he's 17, and he has a daughter. And it's the blending of families. Now you think of the two different families, right? Look at even two different cultures. They are two different cultures. And I said, your son is going to want to protect you. He's going to see himself as the king. He's going to feel that you need to be protected. So what you need to do is never, ever tell your son about your trouble between you and your boyfriend. Ever. Don't make your child your therapist. He's going to take your side. He's going to hate this guy. And when you make up with this guy, he's going to be mad at you, and there's going to be a distance between you, but he's going to hold on to that. Now, think about it in reverse. A daughter would be the same, right? If her dad marries another woman, and the dad tells how she's hurt and what she's done, and she's not going to forgive him. She's going to want to protect him. It's the same thing with our family members. You talk shit on your partner to your family, they hate that person. Now you got to undo the damage. How are you going to undo the damage? You may have lied. You may have not wanted them to know something. So there's so much going on right now that needs to be spoken of in truth and forgiven. How do you say to your partner, I lied about you. I said this because I didn't want them to know, and they hate you because of what I said. How are you going to dig your way out of that? Well, you better figure out a way, right? That's a problem for a lot of families, is that kids become the parents' counselors, and that's not their role. They don't, and I said that with my ex-husband. He did that with his daughter, and it messed her up. When I said, she doesn't need another friend. He goes, I want to be her friend. No, she doesn't need a friend. She needs a father. She doesn't have a mother. Her mother was whacked, crazy, and her father wasn't a leader. I was. I took care of all of that. And then, of course, when that makes me the bad guy, right? So that sucked. But there was no rules in that house except for me. So we have to look at a balance here. You have to understand that it's not always strong to be roaring. It's not always weak to be gentle. It's the balance that we're needing to find in all relationships right now. So I wonder if I should give any more. I mean, I did just speak about this yesterday. So it's just basically telling you that you're stronger than you think you are, and that by forgiving, and that you have to be truthful, first of all, own up to your mistakes, own up to the, whatever it is. And if someone else is asking forgiveness, forgive them. You don't have to be their friend. If they're exhibiting the same kind of narcissistic, toxic behavior, you remove yourself. But you need to forgive the situation so that you can move on. I had some video I posted today, and it was me talking about our animal messengers. It was a few years ago. I was describing them all, and it was a great little video. I was really happy until the very end. And in the very end, I said the name of someone, and I said, this one goes out to you. I love you. Stay strong. And I thought, wow. That, my whole body was covered in chills, because it went out to an ex-roommate who was extremely toxic, threw me under the bus, betrayed me, attacked me, did all kinds of shit to me. And has tried to come back into my life, has tried to add me on LinkedIn, blocked her, tried to call me, blocked her. But my body covered in chills for about 3 minutes. And I said, why is my body reacting this way? Well, we're in Mercury retrograde, right? This is when you think about the past. Am I supposed to forgive her? Maybe I should unblock her. And I heard in my head right away, no. That was my ego. So I'm in my bathroom brushing my teeth, and I was thinking about it again. And I said, am I supposed to forgive this? And my whole body got covered with chills again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if I am meant to unblock her. Maybe I just didn't realize that I had not forgiven. I didn't think I was angry. I don't really hold on to anger. I don't have that in me. But there was something that needed to be addressed. And it was forgiveness. Maybe I just needed to say, I forgive you. Maybe I understand what you've gone through, because now I've watched it with my own twin. Right? When we get betrayed by the ones we love, after we've given everything to them, that's really painful. So I've watched that happen to him in his life. So maybe that's what this is all about. It's just about time to forgive and let the past go so that we can move on to a more peaceful time. A blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. Thank you. And this is another part that I wrote about that made me so sad. You know, is the Father ever going to allow us to come together? Am I going to be alone like this? Because I am lonely. I'm desperately lonely. I need companionship. So this is a beautiful message from Spirit for me. And I know that there's many of us out there that are lonely. And we've kept ourselves isolated because we've been hurt. Right? We have been hurt. We've been betrayed. We've been double-crossed. But right now, Spirit's wanting us to change this. Move away from, I said this yesterday, we've been locking ourselves away too much. We need to bring ourselves out and start allowing ourselves to be more open and vulnerable. I've allowed some friends back into my life that, you know, actually just really one, my friend Scott. But that makes me uncomfortable too because he's a guy, you know, and I can never keep it friends with guys. They always want to go into a different direction. It makes me uncomfortable. So I've been trying to get home to Wisconsin and I keep getting blocked. But right now Spirit's saying, stop isolating. You know, maybe it's shyness. Maybe, you know, shyness comes into account. We're awkward in new situations. Maybe we're in a new area. I don't know. But this is a blessing from Spirit. And this is when we're feeling lonely. And recognize that we have to love ourselves first. That's where we as a Divine Feminine had to get to. The place where we loved ourselves more than we loved the one that we could barely breathe without. We realized, I have been able to breathe without you. I'm tired of doing it alone. But I did it. And I'm not chasing. That's the one thing I did stop. I stopped chasing the one I loved. I had to. Didn't mean the love was gone. I'm not going to chase you. So it leaves you in a space of loneliness. So this is a reminder that we have love within ourselves. And there are relationships that maybe at this time we need to reweave. We've got that come up as well. This is Spirit allowing us to go out and meet people. We've got to get out, even just to the grocery store, you know, go for walks, whatever it is, just get out of our isolation and talk to people, allow people to speak to you. This is where you're going to have chance meetings. People will guide this to happen. You know, you're going to go where music plays. That's what I do. I hear music, I follow the music. And when I follow the music, I meet people. This is, you know, if you've moved to a new place and you don't know anyone, what is it that you love to do? Go there. Meet people. Allow yourself to be a part again. And let the heavy clouds go away. Because that's too much for us to bear. It is too much for me. And know that soul family is so important to reach out to, right? That you guys fill my soul. I love it. That's why the soul family meetups are so wonderful. There's people that I definitely want to meet, you know, in person. But this is about Spirit inviting you to allow yourself to feel again and allow people into your life. And maybe this is for the twin souls. It's time to come back. I'm getting prickles in my left hand, and my arm. It's time to bring yourself out of isolation. So at 48 minutes, we go to Ylang Ylang, which was my mother's choice. So this would be family, or this would be, what did I say, air? Deep sigh. Oh, there's the frog that's going to turn into the king. So the Prince of Summer, romantic, flirtatious, introspective, enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions both with your heart and your intellect. Well, isn't that beautiful? Cinderella, she left her slipper. She didn't realize that when she left her slipper and she ran away, that beautiful prince that she saw, he also turned into a frog. Oh, God. This is why it was so cool for me to watch that Divine Masculine telling his story. Because everything that we experience, even if you're not in a twin soul relationship, you have to realize that your partner is a mirror. We forget that a lot. What we're going through, they're going through. So when Cinderella had to get out of there before he saw her fall apart, now think about that. I'm looking at this in reverse right now. My twin ran. before I could see him fall apart. He didn't want me to see him not be able to handle those crazy emotions and all of these anger and feelings that he was going through. So he ran. But when he ran, I turned into a toad. And so now, and we've gone back and forth so many times, right? And you in relationships will do the same. We will do the same. Sometimes the male is in the feminine role, sometimes the female is. The men don't want to feel that, let themselves be seen weak or cry or lose their job or not have all the answers or feel vulnerable and exposed, right? But we don't like it either. So we go back and forth. So right now somebody's missing. And there's a prince. This is the prince. And he's waiting to kiss his Cinderella. He's got his star, the gold star. I spoke about the gold star yesterday. My mama Sherry posted something, and then her friend at the, I guess she was at this, it's a really cool place. It's a town in Wisconsin where this guy, this wealthy guy, he bought this property, and what he did is he bought all these old buildings from an old town. He reclaimed them, and he put them all on his property. So you can go there, and you can rent the place out for a wedding. You can rent the whole town. And let me show you. It's really cool. Mama Sherry. This is my soul family. Her and my Papa Terry are the ones who've gone there. So let's see. She posted a lot of political stuff. Okay, so here it is. She's very political. Okay, Mama. Good Lord. Let's go to her pictures. We don't want to go through all of her political stuff. She hates Trump. So do I. Okay. So, oh God, this is going to be too many, but look, I just want to show you. That's my Papa Terry. The very first night I met him. That's my soul father. Isn't he sweet? Anyway, one of the messages, if I could find it on Mama Sherry's wall, it said something about, I guess there was a gas station. One of the places was a gas station, right? So that was set up, the gas station, and there was a star, and it was the name of the gas station, I guess, or it had a star in the here it is. It's a Texaco. See the star? Is Troy the star? And I'm confused. So her friend said, always trust your car to the man that wears the star. No, see, my twin is a car guy. And so I have a star in my car. I call my car the Silver Star. Okay, I know this is ridiculous and I should write songs. It's tongue twisters. But I have a star that hangs from my rearview mirror. And I keep it with a mallard feather, a dove feather, and a blue jay feather. And it's all for my twin. Because my twin is my star. He's my wish. So let me show it to you. I think I posted it on Instagram. It's easier to find everything on Instagram. It's not so many posts. Although, Lord, I've posted a lot lately, haven't I? Here it is. So there's my star that hangs from my, and it has a little star that hangs down from it, shooting star. Did you fall for a shooting star, one without a permanent scar? Interesting. I'm thinking about this. So Mama Sherry posted this, and her friend Karen's caught my third eye. Always trust your car to the man who wears the star. You see the star, that gold star I keep in my car, my silver star. And this one holds a gold star. This prince. That gold star. So this is me. This is the divine feminine waiting for my divine masculine who ran to step back into his masculine role out of his feminine role that he ran from. He ran from his emotions. And when we see here is the ladybug. Ladybug says your wishes will be fulfilled. So all of you who are not in a twin soul relationship, how many wishes are on there? You count the dots. There's 3 that I can see. There might be 4 at the top there. So 4 represents angels. There are angels all around you. You're completely guided, protected, and loved. There's no reason for fear. However, I'm looking at this, and it's not a butterfly. To me, it's a moth. And someone I know wrote a song. and I was drawn like a moth to the flame to a woman with another man's name. So all of this energy is moving forward now. This blue speaks about truth. Turquoise, I said I want my turquoise back. That's my soul. That's my soul. I want my soul back. And it's also the color of truth and speech. And this green in the background here, which is love and healing, it's also a fence. See, there's a wall been built. That wall needs to come down. And someone needs to step into their role. And if there is confusion and something that's misunderstood, they need to step past their ego and recognize why there would be confusion. Ego plays a big role in a lot of differences between people. This is why this experience right now is deeply emotional. It can feel wonderful, but it can be very difficult as well. This type of situation, this is whirlwind romance. This is like when you come sweeping in and you run off and you get married. Bam. It's like, or you run off and you see them and you instantly say, I want to marry you. This is somebody who's very romantic, introspective, flirtatious, thoughtful, overly dramatic. That. Oh my God, I'm laughing. Frogs, they go from one thing to another, right? That's me. So it talks about transformation because frogs are about healing and transformation. They go from a tadpole to a frog, right? This frog's going to go from what is it going to go from? Is it going to go from a frog to a queen? Or is it going to go from a frog to a king? Because right now, the Prince of Summer is who's supposed to come forward, right? We're not seeing the Princess of Summer coming forward. It's the prince that needs to come forward. And the prince isn't going to turn into a king until he's able to step into his role, right? Speak his truth. So, there's also another message. If this isn't for you, if you don't have somebody about to step in to their role and sweep you off your feet, the frogs are also about cleansing and clearing away emotional clutter and baggage and history. So this could be, I'm here to wash that prince right out of your hair. That one that you thought was the one, it isn't the one. I'm the one. And I'm going to wash that one right out of my hair. Right? Think about that. There was the song as a commercial, a Brett commercial, wasn't it? I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. So that could be the situation as well. Whoa, and there he is. Holy shit kicker. Okay, a blessing for support. First of all, I got to tell you, this is the Prince of Air, so that would be the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Wands? The Knight of Wands. He's holding a banner. He's not holding a sword. He's holding a banner. The Knight of Wands. Interesting. And he comes forward on a palomino, my favorite horse. He's dressed in blue and he's speaking his truth. He's standing in his truth. And he comes in righteousness. And look at the gold. He's holding up that victory banner. He says to you, I'm here to support you. I'm here to support you. What's interesting to me is 3 and 9 breaks back down to 3. Full circle completion. He's coming in. He's coming in fast. And the colors are worthiness. I can do anything I set my mind to, and truth. And I am coming to support you. It's nice to hear. Especially how I woke up this morning. I said, I just want to be held. I'm tired of being strong. So right now, no matter what challenge there is in your life, Spirit's saying they're giving you a blessing of support. There's going to be that balancing that we spoke about of scales because of choices that you've made, correct choices and actions that you've taken a long time ago. It's going to bring about positive consequences. At this time, others might be coming to us to learn from our experiences. Because we have wisdom. We've been through shit. Why have we been through all this shit? So that others don't have to. So others can learn from us. This is the gold that he's got wrapped around him. This is harvest. We've done our work. This is when Spirit says, may good health come to you. May you be blessed with good friends and companionship for the journey, because someone's going somewhere, right? This looks like travel to me. Could be sudden travel. May the home that you travel to have a warm fire or a warm hug and embrace and happiness there. May you be strong like this one. May your back be strong. May you be able to handle your challenges and your eyes be clear and bright and see what's in front of you. And the starts, if you're leaving from one place going to another, may your fresh start be exciting and brilliant and blossom quickly for you. And as you watch the time pass, don't be bitter about it. Recognize the blessings of your age and what we've learned. And recognize that now, you know what? I've seen all of this. It's freeing me to the misconceptions I had that what other people thought mattered. What I thought that I was supposed to do didn't have to happen, and it doesn't have to happen. I can be free to make my own choices. That's what comes with wisdom and age. This is about someone coming forward to show others this. Guide them along the way. This is about coming out. This one's coming visible. Look, this one is not hiding anymore. The hiding is over. This is about coming out, refusing to isolate, refusing to be invisible. I no longer am going to be invisible. You know what? I got to tell you the God's honest truth. When I watched my twin step out from behind the shadows, he didn't look like the one that I speak about here. He looked like my Mama Sherry's son. That's who walked out from the shadows. And he said, I was hiding, but I wasn't hiding anything from you. I just needed to know you loved me for who I am and not for what I had. And it was so confusing because half the dream showed me one person and half the dream showed me the other person. But the message here from Spirit that I'm being told to share is, it's his responsibility to come forward and show who he is, not mine. I turned and I looked at the one sitting at the table. After I walked through the Rainforest Cafe, holding on to the hand of the one that I've been calling my twin all this time, and I saw this man sitting at this desk wearing a military uniform. I couldn't see his face, I just saw his long hair, and I said, oh my God, it was you all along, wasn't it? And he said, all he said was, yep. But he has not shown his face. And here, this Spirit is saying, it's for you to step forward and show your face. It's not my job. That's another message here. Don't be invisible. Don't isolate yourself. It's time to be conspicuous. It's time to be heard. It's time to be seen. For all of us, it's time to be letting our light shine in all of our glory. Say what we feel. Speak what's on our hearts. Speak the truth. And when we do that, when we're open and honest and truthful, we pull that back to us. We send love out into the world openly, honestly, unashamedly, without reservation, unconditionally, not trying to protect ourselves, and that's the kind of love we get back. When we're not afraid to speak our truth, when we don't hide behind our ego. Because when you aren't able to speak this way, you're hiding behind ego. That has nothing to do with a spiritual person. So at 1 hour and 3 minutes, we go to romance. So this is water signs. Curious now, very curious. Wow, tug of war. Wow, that's what I spoke about too with my client this morning. There's a competition going on here, and that's bullshit. Someone needs to grow up and snip the cord between these two. It's not leading you to your happiest outcome. This is aggressive energy. So why not change that? Is this you and your brother fighting? Is this you and your lover fighting? The song that we began with. I don't want to fight with you. I'll meet you at the next stoplight and I'll let you be right. Who do we have to let be right in our lives? You know what? Sometimes it's not worth it to be the aggressor. And yes, you need to learn to stand up for yourself. Yes, you shouldn't be a doormat. But you don't have to go to war. You don't have to go to war. Because if you're dealing with somebody who's not awake, they're not woke. They think they're woke, but they're not. They think they're right. They think they're standing in their truth, but they're not. But they can't see that because they're not awake. So if you were to go toe to toe, head to head, like Bad Romance said, all you want is revenge, that's not getting anybody anywhere. You're at a stalemate because neither one of you are going to back down. So in anybody's relationship right now, this is a lose-lose situation. So what do you need to do to come to a compromise? Where you can maintain your integrity, stand in a place of compassion, but also be respectful of another's way of looking at things. Now also, check it out. There are hidden agendas. Yes. So when there are hidden agendas, we have to be smart as well, right? That doesn't mean I give to you, I give in, and you can have your way, and I'm going to continue to be your doormat or your whipping boy. No. This is where, like in my dreams that I watched 3.5 years ago, when I watched my twin and his brother, they were going to kill each other. Actually, he was going to kill his brother. I said, don't. Why are you giving him your energy? Why are you wasting your energy? Why are you wasting our lives, our time? Let it go. He's got a hidden agenda. It's not what you think it is. Let it go. Walk away. Let him think that he won. It's only ego that gets in your way, that stops you from allowing that to happen. Because the number 5 says big changes. A significant change is happening in your life at this time, always for the better. And winter is frozen emotion, so it's not going anywhere at this point. Right? So what can you do to change the situation? Now, if you're in a situation with a lover and you guys are going back and forth like the song and you both know that you love each other, but you're both hurt, you're both upset, who's winning? Nobody's winning. Why do I have to always be the one to say I'm sorry? You don't, but you can extend an olive branch. You can say, I don't want to fight with you. I don't get any satisfaction in fighting with you. It doesn't make me happy to be in a war. If you're in it with a family member, I've got a family member that delights in pushing my buttons, wants to bait me, wants to rise, get a fight going. And I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to the war I'm invited to. I'm not going to pack for the guilt trip. I'm not going to play the pity game and go to that pity party, but I'm not going to go to the war. So I let it go. I let time go by. I reach out again. Hey, how's it going? If I still feel the energy, I back away. I'm not going to waste my energy there. It's toxic. It's not good for me. Now, in a situation, sometimes you have to speak your truth, right? But you don't have to lose your shit. You don't have to reduce yourself to that level. You speak your truth and then you leave. You make sure your boundaries are clear. You set those boundaries. You hold those boundaries. But you are self-respecting, right? I've uncovered your agenda. Or maybe you haven't. Maybe you need to uncover an agenda. Ask Spirit to show you. However, all that's going on right now is that nothing's working. So maybe you should look and understand, why is it not working? Is it time for you to recognize that they're not who they say they are? They have a hidden agenda. This is not meant to happen because they had no intention of doing this or having this go through, right? Choose a different game with somebody friendly. Somebody is not coming from a place of integrity. Somebody lacks integrity and morals here. Why are you going to play their game? Also, remember the rescue remedy? You don't jump into that mud puddle with somebody who doesn't want help. You're fighting a losing battle. It's time to figure out who needs to be rescued. And at this point, it's probably you. Rescue yourself, because this mission you're on is not worth it. It's not worth your time and energy. You're caught up in other people's drama. It's not yours. Let it go. Don't go. What does Spirit say about drama? Park it at the door. Leave. Wherever there is drama, wherever there is anger, ridicule, blame, judgment, leave that. Go to peace, happiness, joy, kindness, compassion. Because right now, if you are engaging in this, you're allowing them to pick the game that you play. I don't play games anymore. I don't play games. If you're going to play a game with me, I'm out. See ya. Right? My energy is way too precious, and so is yours. A blessing for good men and fathers. That's beautiful. Here we see the green man of the forest. And look at the robin. Robin speaks of new beginnings. And look at the star dropping the crown upon his head. That one in the forest. He's naked, open, and vulnerable. Does he look like he's embarrassed? Nope. Is he shy about accepting that crown? Hell no. As the number 13 says, 1 and 3 is 4, he recognizes he's never alone. There are angels all around him. He's completely guided, protected, and loved. He's safe. He's safe to stand in his feminine energy and his masculine energy. We need men like this. We need open, vulnerable, gentle men that are also very powerful and strong. We need men to show other young men that you don't have to be tough and aggressive and throw a woman up against a wall to be the head of your house. To be the head of your house is to rule with love and compassion. And recognize that you're part of a wolf pack where sometimes mom's the head. And it doesn't make me weak. So right now, Spirit's saying, allow yourself to feel vulnerable. Allow your children to see you be vulnerable. Let your kids see you cry. There is someone crying. That's interesting. He's asleep, and I keep hearing the crying. Isn't that interesting? I'm hearing it. I'm hearing crying. It's like a cat crying. I can hear it crying. It's not Lily, it's not Liger. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Someone's crying. Good. Allow your tears to fall. It's important. Allow your friends to see that you are a sensitive person. Allow them to recognize, I love her. She makes me feel weak in the knees. And I love that feeling. I love the way she loves me. What? What are you talking about? They're so full of ego they can't understand. Clearly, they're not the people you should be around, right? And women. There's so much about, women's live, and especially with the divine feminine, we've had to be very, very strong, right? I've been alone for 11 and a half years. I run my life, I run my business. I do what I say, when I say, how I say. I welcome someone to lift me and hold me and carry me. I welcome to allow myself to lean on someone else. I don't want to make all the choices and all the decisions. It's lonely doing it that way. I love being part of a partnership. That's not weakness. It's not weakness. When I said I'm ready to be in my divine feminine and allow my divine masculine to be in his role, it's not weakness. I love that. I didn't feel pushed around or controlled. Not in those moments when we were together. Later, when he was slipping out of his higher self into his ego, yes. But not in that space. It made me feel cherished and precious and wonderful. So, women, open up. Allow yourselves to be vulnerable and soft to this man and show them. Understand when they're feeling tired and weak, and sometimes understand why they get cranky when they're trying to hold it together and be strong when they don't feel strong inside. Tell them it's okay. It's okay not to be strong all the time. Nobody can be strong all the time. I woke up this morning totally not strong at all. And just because your father has said that this is the way a man should be doesn't mean that that's the truth. That man was coming from ego. And he was probably, those kind of people are the ones that are abusive. Because they have no control over their own lives, so they have to control yours. That's imbalance. So maybe what needs to happen is underneath that muscle, show that there's gentleness. That's hard to see when coming from a military family, isn't it? They're trained to be tough and strong and not show their emotions and not cry. And that's why I love all the videos I see of the soldiers coming back and the ones who were reunited with their war dogs. You want to see a grown man fall into a puddle. You put a little baby puppy or a kitty in their lap, or you see a hurt animal. Mama Sherry's son, he sat up until, what was it she said, 5:36 in the morning? She found him in the kitchen crying. He had been up all night because a mouse had gotten stuck on a sticky trap that she had set out. He was yelling at her, how could you do that? He'd been there hours. He said he'd been up all night trying to get the little animal free, and its little leg was broken. It broke his heart. This man is 6'1" and strong. Doesn't say much. Has a military father. Tough. But my Papa Terry's pretty gentle now. And Troy sat there with tears pouring down his face with that little mouse with its broken leg. That is not a weak person. That's a strong person. That's the kind of person I respect. And that's what we need to teach the young men and women. It's a lot of hard work to get to that place, recognizing that you can be strong and vulnerable at the same time. So may all men feel that, recognize the darkness inside of them, and heal it, honor it, and get rid of the stereotypes that the world puts out for them. And know that they can love and nurture and protect their brother, just like they can a female. And men need to know that you are precious to us, and we need you. We need you to show the next generation how to be fathers, because a lot of fathers didn't know what they were doing. They sure didn't in my life. My stepfather went back and forth between the way he actually really truly was, which is this, a very gentle, strong man. My mother was very aggressive and wanted him to be tougher and tougher, and he snapped and went too far the other way. But that wasn't his character. His character was very gentle and very kind and loving and very, very sensitive, super sensitive. But then he would fight that. And he's stubborn, and he's got an ego, and he's upset, and he won't talk to me because I stood up to him, and he didn't like that. He felt it was wrong for me to be strong. And it hurt his feelings, and I know it did. But his ego was way too big for him to allow himself to let me back into his life. Isn't that sad? I know he loves me. I know he misses me. I know he's lonely. And I know that's going on with my twin. And the only thing between us is the ego. So, to all the good men and good fathers who have been able to show this to their kids, we love you and we respect you. And that's a very, very deep, deep gift that you have shown your children. So this is a blessing to all the good ones, and for everyone else, that there's a possibility of what a man can really be, how deep they can truly reach into their well of emotion, as well as hold on to that fire, that ring of fire. I said this the other day, this came up in a reading, ring of fire. I couldn't understand why I kept seeing that, the ring of fire, the strength and the passion. You need both. And I said that in my reading. I said, I see a ring of fire, and in the center of the ring is a deep well of emotion. God. It was interesting. It wasn't this picture, but that's what I was seeing. And I looked up ring of fire, the golden ring. God, there's so many messages going through my mind right now. There's a movie, Golden Ring. Leave this one now. At 1 hour and 19 minutes in, we go to Eucalyptus. So that would be fire. I love the smell of eucalyptus. Oh my God, how funny is that? And there's the queen. Wow. Now, see what I said? The prince, he's still a prince because he hasn't stepped forward. He hasn't spoken his truth. When he does, he becomes the king. But here we see the queen. The queen's sitting there because she has spoken her truth. She is independent. She's talented, she's brilliant, she's charming. She sits on her throne, not in ego, not at all. She looks to spirit. The sunflower, it wakes up in the morning and it follows the sun across the sky, the divine masculine. It looks to the divine masculine. It follows it across the sky. And then it looks down. Sunflower reminds us to always look up to spirit as it goes across the sky. It also tells us that when we wake up, we do what we can during the day, and when we go to sleep at night, we let it go. She's learned that. She doesn't have to do everything. She knows how to raise her children. She knows how to give advice. She's learned. She doesn't underestimate her ability. She knows where she comes from. She is of royal blood in the spiritual sense. The Queen of Spring, it's interesting because that would be the Queen of Earth, right? Would be an earth sign. But this means that you're grounded. This queen is grounded. She hasn't allowed, notice she doesn't wear the crown. It's sitting in front of her. She doesn't put the crown on her head. She waits for her king to crown her. And she doesn't want to wear that crown. She won't wear that crown with just anyone. She knows. Because all around the base in this field, planted and left by her love, sitting right next to that crown is a forget-me-not. And she has not forgotten. She waits for her king. She knows that she deserves a king. She doesn't deserve a prince. This one hasn't even stepped into the role of a prince. He wants to be, but he's still a toad. She deserves a queen. She's done her work. She's independent, she's strong, she's probably raised children on her own. Don't underestimate her ability. And Spirit's saying, don't you underestimate your ability. You can do anything you set your mind to. Says the color of the solar plexus sitting right next to you. You're capable of anything. You're worthy of sitting on a throne. You're worthy of a beautiful position, a happy home, health, success. You're self-motivated. You're talented. People like you. They want to help you. They get along with you. You're a little bit strong-willed, and you probably like to have things your way. But you've had to be that way because you've had to do it on your own. Cats are very independent people. They spend a lot of time grooming themselves and sleeping. But at the moment's notice, they'll jump up and they're flying, right? Now, Persians, they require a lot of care because of their long hair. Both of my cats are long hairs. This one has a triple coat. He's a Norwegian forest cat. And Lily has very, very flossy hair. It gets tangled in knots a lot. She's got a lot of long hair. So they require a lot of grooming, which speaks about us in our personalities. We have required a lot of grooming to get us to this place, right? Especially since we're stubborn and we want to have our own way. We're strong-willed. We've had to curb that. We haven't got that crown on our head yet, right? So you work very hard for your money, just like I. There's a song. She works hard for her money. And it's not that other one. She works hard for the money. There's that one, but there's another one. And it's written by the male's perspective about his girl. And she works hard. She works for what she's got. She doesn't sit there entitled and expect the world to deliver to her like a trust fund baby, thinking the world owes her a living. She does it herself. She is the song that I like by J-Lo. I don't need your money. I don't need anything of yours. I can do it myself. I can do all of it myself. I choose to be with you so that we can complement one another. But this is also a message that you do work hard for your money and you are capable, but you also need to spend that money on you, queens. Now, if you are a male that has been living in this divine feminine energy, which is not a bad thing, that's a beautiful thing. We want that in you. Maybe you have been giving everything of yourself, and that's the lesson. And Spirit's saying it's time for you to step out of this and give back to yourself. But right now we're focusing on the Queen. We're focusing on us, ladies. It's about self-care. It's about pampering yourself. And guess where I'm going today? I'm getting my nails done and a pedicure because I deserve it. And you know what's so silly is most of my friends do that every couple weeks. And I wait until my nails are breaking and everything's, I start biting my cuticles, right? Because I'm always putting everything else first and I'm so frugal with my money. But we have to be careful not to hold on too tight to our money, because when we hold on to our money, it tells the universe that we believe we won't get more. It's a feeling of lack. It's like chasing after the one you love. Why would you chase after the one you love? You know they love you. If they love you, they should reciprocate, right? That was a lesson you had to learn to get to the place where you're a queen. You're not wearing your crown yet, but you're good. You're good. In the meantime, you're going to take care of you. You got your fur kids to take care of, right? And you're going to spend some time taking care of yourself because you deserve it. Because, hell, no one else is there doing it for you, right? I don't see any divine masculine right there. And here you are, loving your inner child. And, no doubt, loving your children. There's a lot of single parents out there. Moms and dads. And this is a blessing on the young ones. This is a blessing that they are sheltered and taken care of. And what I'm looking at here is that beautiful unicorn that I see as my divine masculine. His inner child. That's me loving my divine masculine's inner child. I do love my inner child. And I will love me, because also I am very stubborn, right? But you notice what I did? What did I do? My mind and my heart first went to seeing my twins, divine inner child. That stubborn, bullheaded ego child within him that needs love. Instead of seeing my own stubborn ego inner child that needs love. And why? Because I'm a mom. Because I'm the divine goddess, and I have that very much in my energy right now, as do the ones that resonate with this, because we are in our divine feminine energy. The moon energy is very strong in me right now. My Pisces comes out. I told you I'm more Pisces than I am Aries, because I am the divine feminine. People don't understand that. Oh, she's an Aries. No, I'm mostly Pisces, actually. And you see here 3 butterflies. Again, ascended masters assisting you. Most likely right now, the feminine are being assisted by a feminine ascended master. For me, it's Archangel Gabriel. She's the messenger. For others, it could be Archangel Jophiel. It's also Ariel, who is the angel of finances and the angel of animals. So those ones are the ones that stand forward for me. I'm not sure who you guys feel are supporting you, but I see forget-me-nots all throughout her hair. It's impossible to forget the ones you love. But we have to not forget to love ourselves. Right? You're loving your children, you're loving your inner child, your twin's inner child, or your husband's, or your whatever, friends. But you have to remember yourself. Don't forget you. This can also go for the males, right? It doesn't have to be the only females that I'm speaking to here. We have to remember to love ourselves, nurture ourselves. How about us loving our own stubborn little ego? That wounded child, because we all have a wounded child inside of us. All of us have had difficulties. All of us have issues inside that we haven't shared with other people. So right now, also, let's extend that energy out to the world. My energy goes out to the animals of the world. Always, always they come to my heart, because they were my best friends when I was a child. They're my best friends now. And we have to remember, they need what we need. They need the gravy. The gravy's the good stuff. You might consider switching up a little bit of your pet's food and giving them a little bit of gravy. You know? It gets boring for them too. So Also, we want to ask for a blessing upon the children of this world who don't have loving parents, who don't have proper guidance, who don't have food and shelter and toys and treats. They may have parents that would give anything that they could, if they could, but they don't have it. So maybe you're in the position to help someone. Maybe you can be generous to someone else. Bless the little ones. Be an example for them. Maybe you could be a really wonderful aunt or big brother or big sister, uncle. Take somebody under your wing that isn't your family and teach them the lessons that you've had to learn so they don't have to fall any harder than they already have to. Teach them about self-love and self-awareness and show them that Spirit watches them every step of the way, that they're not alone. And let them have teachers. Let's ask for them to have teachers that know what the fuck they're talking about. They didn't know how to teach me in school. I had a couple teachers that I remember, they stand out, but the rest had no clue. They don't know how to teach my grandson. He's a super sensitive. His teacher is clueless. Be the teacher that teaches the ones that are gentle in a kind way. Please ask for more teachers. You know, a spiritual path could be a teacher, not a spiritual teacher, but a teacher. Like a kindergarten teacher or elementary school or even high school. Any kind of teacher. I'm a teacher. People ask me all the time, what do you do for a living? I'm a spiritual teacher. That's my job. That's my favorite thing. I don't say that I'm a psychic. I don't say that I'm a medium. I don't say that I'm a channel. I say I'm a spiritual teacher because that's what I am. I teach what I'm taught through my experiences. And this is what we all have, lessons that we can teach others. But that's a very, very honorable profession to have. A teacher of any sort, a caregiver. Let us ask that this world starts to learn from the right teachers and knows how to care for our planet and our animals so that we can continue healing this planet. Because clearly the elders in this world have failed miserably, as so many parents have. So may the older ones who don't understand learn to embrace the younger ones' ways and listen. Sometimes grandparents need to listen to their grandchildren. Sometimes parents need to listen to their children. My dad didn't like that. But that's his lesson to learn, not mine. That's it, guys. At 1 hour and 32 minutes, we're at a wrap. I have to go over this and think myself for... my lesson today is I'm getting my nails done. I didn't think I was going to do that because I haven't worked very much. Yesterday, I only did a couple private readings. Oh, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. My name is Sherry Columbus. Welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and like it and share these videos so that as many people as possible can get the information that Spirit is sending through me, as I am a channel. If you would like help in dream analysis or a private reading, my focus is on that. My focus is on my spiritual healing and teaching. That's where all of my energy is going. And I would be honored. I'm a long-distance Reiki master. I'm also the creator of the ceremonial, the Queen of Wands Sage Wands. If you are interested in purchasing a Sage Wand, they are all enhanced with a Reiki charged crystal. They are made of California white sage, which is the most powerful of sage for cleansing and blessing. So if I can help you in any of those ways. Also, there's a donation button on my page. I always forget about that, you know. I do all of this work for free. If you would like to make a donation to my work so that I can continue to do this, that helps me. I would appreciate that. You guys have a beautiful day, and I hope that this has been of help to you. It has been for me, and like I said, I'm gonna go into kind of a meditation while I listen to this back as I upload it. I'll speak to you guys soon. Love you.